They mocked the woman in the wheelchair at the military base gate. They had no idea she outranked every single one of them. Fort Bragg's main entrance buzzed with Monday morning gas personnel carriers rumbling through. Fresh recruits marching, civilians queuing for passes. Captain Maya Torres rolled her wheelchair toward the security gate, her veteran ID clipped to her jacket. 3 young soldiers, barely past basic training, stood near the visitor area, smoking during an unauthorized break. The tallest one, Private Dawson, spotted Maya and elbowed his companions with a smirk that carried more arrogance than his 2 months of service had earned. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening to this. Hey, look, Dawson announced loud enough for everyone to hear. Guess they're letting anyone on base now. Maya continued rolling forward, her face expressionless, her hands steady. She'd learned that the first response to disrespect was often silence. It gave fools rope to hang themselves. As Maya reached the checkpoint, Dawson stepped directly into her path. Stand up when you approach a military installation. Show some respect. The security guard, Sergeant Williams with 20 years of service, looked up sharply, recognizing Maya instantly. His hand moved toward his phone, but Maya caught his eye and shook her head. Not yet. I said stand up. Dawson grabbed the wheelchair's armrest, shaking it. What are you too lazy to walk? We don't need people like you on a real military base. The air temperature seemed to drop 10 degrees. Maya's hands moved with sudden, precise purpose. In one fluid motion, she locked the wheels and pushed herself to standing, not slowly, not with struggle. She rose like a coiled spring, her spine straightening despite the shrapnel embedded in her lower vertebrae. She stood at full height, somehow seeming to tower over Dawson despite being shorter. At ease, Private, Maya said, her voice carrying the unmistakable tone of command quiet. Controlled, absolutely devoid of negotiation. Dawson blinked, struggling to process the shift. I'm not you can't. I can and I am. Maya took one deliberate step forward, closing the distance. The wheelchair isn't because I can't stand. It's pain management for injuries sustained. Pulling 2 wounded SEALs out of a kill zone under enemy fire. Injuries that came with my second Purple Heart and a Navy Cross. The color drained from Dawson's face. SEAL? SEAL Team 3. 8 years active duty. 12 combat deployments. Current rank. Captain. Retired medical discharge. And you have 6 seconds to assume attention before I ensure your commanding officer learns exactly how you treat disabled. Veterans. Dawson snapped to attention, so fast his neck cracked. His companions had already assumed position, faces pale. A black SUV pulled up, and Colonel Harrison, the base commander, stepped out, drawn by the commotion. His eyes swept the scene, and his expression hardened into something that would have made granite look soft. Captain Torres, he said, approaching with crisp steps. The respect in his voice was unmistakable. I heard we had a situation. Nothing. I can't handle, sir. Just educating some newer soldiers about proper treatment of veterans. Harrison turned to the privates, his gaze cutting through steel. Names. Now, they stammered through identification. Private Dawson, you mocked a Navy Cross recipient. Do you understand the magnitude of your failure? The Navy Cross is the second highest military decoration for valor. Captain Torres earned hers making 3 separate trips into an ambush zone under enemy fire. She sustained career-ending injuries requiring daily pain management, and you told her to stand up like she was lazy? Dawson's eyes filled with tears. Sir, I didn't know. You didn't know because you didn't think. You saw a wheelchair and made assumptions. Harrison's voice was ice. Maya spoke quietly. Colonel, permission to address the privates? Harrison stepped back, nodding. I'm going to tell you something I wish someone had told me when I was your age, Maya began, her voice gentler now. Real strength isn't about physical power. It's about how you treat people when they're vulnerable. It's about seeing someone struggling and offering a hand instead of mockery. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. I don't want you punished. I want you educated. Spend the next month volunteering at the VA hospital. Sit with veterans who've lost limbs, who have PTSD, who navigate wheelchairs and prosthetics. Understand that the person you mock today might be you tomorrow, Dawson's tears spilled over. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. The question is, what are you going to do with that sorry? Let it eat you up, or let it change you? Harrison nodded slowly. Her suggestion is now in order. 30 days at the VA hospital, 4 hours daily, in addition to regular duties. Dismissed. The privates saluted and ran. Maya lowered herself back into her wheelchair, the movement revealing the cost of standing. So long. Harrison crouched to her eye level. What you just did, that was leadership. Thank you. Maya smiled, tired but genuine. Someone showed me grace once when I was young and stupid. Figured I'd pay it forward. As Maya rolled through the gate onto base, she passed a formation in training. One young soldier glanced over, saw the veteran tags on her wheelchair, saw something in her bearing that made him stand straighter. The morning sun climbed higher, burning off fog, revealing a perfect North Carolina sky. And somewhere in the distance, in a barracks where 3 privates were packing for the VA hospital, a conversation was starting. About assumptions and grace, about wheelchairs and worth, about the difference between strength you can see and strength that holds you together when everything else has fallen apart. Because the uniform doesn't make you a hero. What makes you? Worthy is how you rise after falling, how you treat people when you have power over them, and whether you choose grace when the world gives you reason for bitterness. And the chair beneath them, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a chariot that carried them home from battles you'll never have to fight. If this story reminded you to look deeper, to see strength in unexpected places, leave a comment about a veteran who changed how you see courage. Subscribe, these stories matter. I'll see you in the next one.